Every single day, millions of people wake up with dreams in their hearts and hopes in their eyes, but only a small fraction ever reach their destination. Why? Why do most people fail while only a few succeed? It all comes down to one thing: their patterns of thinking. If you're tired of running in circles, tired of trying and falling again, then listen closely. Today, we're uncovering the invisible enemy that holds people back, and the mental shift that can lead you straight to success. The subconscious mind is the unseen force that governs the trajectory of every individual's life. It is not a silent observer, but an active participant in shaping your future, recording every dominant thought, emotion, and belief that you feed it. It cannot differentiate between what is real and what is imagined, what is empowering and what is destructive. It simply accepts what you repeatedly think and turns it into reality. Every thought you hold with emotion, every belief you entertain with conviction, is planted in the soil of your subconscious. And just like the earth does not care whether you plant wheat or poison, your mind will grow whatever seed you nourish the most. When people repeatedly think thoughts of doubt, fear, unworthiness, and limitation, those thoughts become the instruction manual for their lives. The subconscious does not argue, it does not reason, it only obeys. It reflects your inner world into your outer experience. A man who constantly says, "I can't succeed," or "success is not for people like me," programs his mind to sabotage every opportunity. His actions follow his beliefs, and his life becomes a mirror of the limitations he has accepted. Even if he works hard, even if he tries to change his life, if the programming remains the same, the outcome will eventually return to failure. The power lies in the fact that this programming can be changed. You are not bound to the thoughts that dominated your past. You are not imprisoned by the fears you inherited or the doubts society fed you. You are the master of your mind, and your mind is the builder of your destiny. But to exercise that mastery, you must first become aware of what you have been feeding your subconscious. What are the phrases you repeat to yourself daily? What is the tone of your inner dialogue? What do you say about yourself when no one else is listening? If you want to live a life of success, you must take control of what enters your subconscious. You must deliberately reprogram it with thoughts of strength, faith, confidence, and success. This is not a one-time effort. Just like the body must be exercised daily to remain strong, the mind must be trained consistently to operate from a state of power. Begin each day by declaring who you want to be, not who you were yesterday. Say to yourself, "I am capable, I am focused, I am becoming more powerful every day." These are not empty words. They are instructions to your subconscious, and when spoken with belief, they begin to rewire your thinking at the deepest level. Visualization is another powerful tool. When you close your eyes and see yourself succeeding, really feel it, see the details, the emotions, the results, you are sending a blueprint to your subconscious. And the subconscious begins to align your behavior, your decisions, and your perception to make that vision a reality. This is not fantasy. This is the science of how the mind works. Every champion, every millionaire, every leader has mastered this internal game. They do not wait for success to appear. They create it from the inside out, but it is not enough to just think positively once in a while. Repetition is the key. The subconscious mind learns through repetition, not logic. That is why negative thoughts become so strong, because they are repeated over and over again, often unconsciously. To change your programming, you must flood your mind with positive, empowering thoughts consistently, especially when you don't feel like it. Especially when circumstances tempt you to go back to old habits. That is the test, and that is where the transformation begins. Be intentional about what you expose your mind to. The people you talk to, the content you consume, the conversations you entertain, all of these are either reinforcing your success programming or feeding your failure. You must protect your mind as you would protect your most valuable treasure, because that is exactly what it is. Guard it from negativity, feed it with inspiration, surround it with belief, and most importantly, speak to it daily with purpose. Your voice has power over your subconscious. Use it wisely. There is no success without mental discipline. The world may offer you opportunities, but only your mindset can determine whether you will seize them or squander them. Change begins when you take responsibility for your thoughts and become the author of your inner dialogue. Every day is a fresh chance to program your mind for victory. Every moment is a new opportunity to affirm who you truly are, not the version that others see, but the version you are becoming. Speak it. Believe it, see it, and your subconscious will begin to build it. The greatest tragedy in the lives of most people is not that they aim too high and miss, but that they aim too low, often without realizing it, and hit. This happens because the average individual spends the majority of their mental energy thinking about what they fear, what they wish to avoid, and what they don't want to experience. They focus on the negative outcomes, and in doing so, they unconsciously attract those very circumstances into their lives. The mind, both conscious and subconscious, responds to focus, and where focus goes, energy flows. So if your thoughts are saturated with the fear of failure, the worry of poverty, the anxiety of rejection, and the dread of being stuck, then you are unknowingly setting the GPS of your life to those very destinations. The universe, your mind, and your behavior all work together in perfect harmony to deliver the results you continually dwell upon. This is not magic, it's cause and effect. When you constantly affirm, "I don't want to be broke," or "I don't want to be stuck in this job forever," your mind does not hear the words "don't want." It hears broke, stuck, trapped, miserable. The subconscious mind operates in pictures and emotion, not logic. So when you speak or think in terms of what you fear, you are painting mental images of failure. You are emotionalizing those images and thus turning them into deeply rooted beliefs. Those beliefs, in turn, shape your decisions, your habits, and your attitude. It becomes a vicious cycle of self-fulfilling limitations. It is time to break that cycle by shifting your focus deliberately. If your thoughts are the seeds, your focus is the sunlight and water. What you nourish grows. You must train yourself to think about what you want, not what you wish to avoid. Say, "I want to be financially free," instead of "I don't want to be poor." Say, "I want to live a purpose-driven life," instead of "I hate my job." The difference seems subtle, but the results are enormous. Positive focus puts your mind into creative mode. It forces you to look for solutions, opportunities, and pathways that align with your desires. Negative focus does the opposite. It keeps you in fear, scarcity, and survival mode. And in survival mode, dreams die because the mind is too occupied with protecting itself from imagined threats. You have to understand that every great achievement began in the mind of someone who dared to focus on what was possible. They allowed themselves to imagine it, believe in it, speak it, and feel it, long before it ever became reality. Their focus became their reality. This is available to you as well, but it requires discipline. The human mind naturally gravitates toward what's wrong, what could go wrong, and what has gone wrong. That's a survival instinct embedded deep in our psychology. But success is not about survival, it's about expansion. And expansion requires the courage to deliberately train your mind to dwell in what is right, what is possible, and what is next. This training begins with awareness. Catch yourself every time you say or think something rooted in fear or negativity. Don't scold yourself. Simply notice it, then flip the statement. Turn "I don't want to fail" into "I want to learn and grow through every experience." Turn "I hate being broke" into "I am building wealth daily." This mental pivot is a powerful act. It rewires the pathways in your brain. The more you do it, the more natural it becomes, and the more aligned your actions become with the results you desire. Also, surround yourself with language and visuals that reflect what you want. Your environment is constantly feeding your subconscious. If you want success, immerse yourself in its energy, read about it, talk about it, visualize it, write about it. Celebrate even the smallest progress that reflects it. This immersion programs your subconscious to expect success instead of fear it. And when your mind expects something, it begins to create the behavior and emotional state necessary to make it happen. Understand that your focus is a creative force. What you focus on expands, what you think about repeatedly becomes familiar, and what is familiar becomes comfortable, even if it's undesirable. That's why people stay stuck in patterns of failure. Failure, though painful, is familiar. They've focused on it for so long that they've become emotionally tied to it. To break free, you must begin focusing on success so consistently that it becomes your new normal. This is how transformation begins, not by changing the world around you, but by shifting the world within you. Your future is a reflection of your focus. You are always directing your energy somewhere. The only question is, are you doing it consciously or unconsciously? Are you designing your life with intention, or are you letting the winds of fear and doubt direct your path? The most successful people in the world are not always the most talented, the most educated, or the most connected. They are often the ones who mastered the art of focus. They made it a daily habit to think, speak, and act in alignment with what they wanted, not what they feared. You can do the same. It begins now with the decision to shift your focus from problems to possibilities, from fear to faith, and from limitation to limitless vision. The misconception that success belongs only to the lucky or the exceptionally talented is one of the greatest barriers standing between people and their true potential. From the outside, it's easy to assume that those who rise to the top of their industries or amass great fortunes were simply born with a gift or stumbled upon a once-in-a-lifetime opportunity. But this belief, though convenient, is a dangerous illusion. It creates a mental wall that keeps the average person from even trying. It says, if I'm not lucky or gifted, what's the point? This false idea robs people of their inner power because it places the responsibility for success outside themselves rather than within. Success is not a matter of chance. It is a matter of design, and that design is built through habits and mindset, repeated daily with persistence and faith. When you study the lives of the world's most successful individuals, not just their highlight reels, but their true stories, you begin to see a pattern. Their achievements did not spring from luck, nor were they always the most talented in their field. In fact, many started with less than most, but what they possessed was a way of thinking and a way of behaving that produced results over time. They trained their minds to believe in the unseen. They cultivated discipline when it would have been easier to give in. They practiced daily routines that shaped their destiny. Let us look at habit first. A person's habits are the daily proof of what they truly believe. If you believe success is possible, you will act in ways that support it, even if the results have not yet appeared. Waking up early to learn, managing time effectively, guarding your thoughts, staying consistent in your efforts. These are not glamorous things. They are rarely praised or posted about, but they are the building blocks of success. Each repeated behavior reinforces the identity of a person who is becoming what they aspire to be. Habits eliminate the need for constant decision-making. You no longer debate whether to take action. You've hardwired the action into your system. That is where power begins. Mindset, on the other hand, is the root from which those habits grow. A weak mindset cannot sustain strong habits. Your mind is the command center of your life. It determines how you interpret failure, how you face resistance, and how you continue when motivation fades. A person with a fixed mindset says, I failed, so I'm not good enough. A person with a growth mindset says, I failed, so I've learned something, I'll adjust and grow. This mindset becomes the filter through which every experience is processed. And over time, it turns challenges into fuel and criticism into clarity. When people look at successful individuals and say, they're just lucky, they miss the years of disciplined action, the nights of sacrifice, the hours of silent effort that went unnoticed. They don't see the rejections, the setbacks, the moments of self-doubt that were conquered internally. They only see the outcome and call it luck. But luck may open a door once. Only habit and mindset can walk you through it, keep you there, and help you grow in it. There is another danger in believing success is only for the gifted. It breeds passivity. It tells people they must wait for the right moment, the right condition, the right feeling, but those who succeed do not wait, they create. They act even when they are uncertain. They show up even when they don't feel like it. They do not rely on motivation, they rely on habit. And that habit is driven by a mindset that says, I may not be there yet, but I'm on my way. If success were about talent alone, the most successful people would be the most naturally gifted. But history does not show this to be true. Talent is potential. Mindset and habit are what turn potential into power. A person with average skill but extraordinary consistency will go further than a person with great skill but poor habits, because the consistent individual builds momentum. Each day compounds the previous one. And soon the gap between them and the rest of the crowd becomes too wide to ignore. Your current habits are a mirror of your current mindset. If you want to change your outcomes, you must first change how you think. And when your thinking changes, your habits must follow. That is the formula. It is not complicated, but it requires honesty. It requires a willingness to take responsibility, not just for your actions, but for your thoughts. Because your thoughts are the seeds, your habits are the roots. Your success is the harvest. When you truly understand that your future is not dictated by chance or birth or talent, but by the habits you build and the mindset you cultivate, you awaken a power that cannot be taken from you. That realization is the beginning of transformation. And transformation, when maintained by daily discipline and right thinking, is what produces lasting success. Not the kind that fades, but the kind that stands tall, because it was built on the unshakable foundation of your own effort and belief. The reason most people fail is not because they lack intelligence, talent, or opportunity. It is because they are unknowingly trapped in patterns of thought that sabotage their potential. These thoughts of fear, self-doubt, excuses, and limiting beliefs become mental prisons. But the moment you take responsibility for your mind, everything changes. When you challenge your old beliefs, build new empowering habits, and discipline your thinking, you step into a version of yourself that can no longer be held back. Success isn't for the lucky, it's for the committed. And those who rise are not those with perfect conditions, but those who reprogram their thoughts every single day. You have the power, you always did. Now it's time to think like a winner, act with purpose, and rewrite your destiny. Change your thoughts and you will change your life.